Alright, everybody. This is
Alright,
my first
guys.
NASCAR race
My
at Gateway
first
Motorsports Park.
NASCAR race at Gateway
I'm pretty
Motorsports Park.
excited about it. I've been
I'm
working hard in the ovals, trying to move up the
excited.
rankings, and finally felt I was comfortable to move into a faster
Man,
car.
I didn't get much
And this
sleep.
is quite a tricky track, but I got the hang of it pretty quickly. I
So
wasn't
a
the
little
fastest
tired,
driver, but
hasn't really
I
been affecting
definitely
me
was
today.
competitive up until I got taken out. It wasn't intentional or anything, it was just a mistake. Here's my fastest qualifying lap. This first turn, I like to drop down into third gear and hug below the slick line. I got a pretty decent run out of that turn. And this next turn is the one that I actually have the most trouble with, because I find that I often slow down too much, so I don't get to hug the inside as much as I should. Nonetheless, it's a decent time, and it sits me on, I think, 5th place. So not the end of the world at all. Yes, 5th place, 4th place right now. And then I believe right when we get ready for the race, it drops to 5th. Yep, I was correct. 5th place is where we're going to be starting the race. And this race was a pretty weird start. Usually the leaders like to be on the power basically as soon as the pace car gets off. But these guys took it pretty slow, and I kind of respect them for that. They wanted it to be as fair as possible, I guess. And we didn't really start going until the straight. Overall, like I said, it was a pretty good race. Unfortunately, I did get hit and had to pit for repairs, so I finished way lower than I would have liked to. The first laps were nothing really special. I got passed on the outside to move down to 6th place, and that's pretty much what happened. The front guy was blinking, but it was nothing bad. He quickly stopped blinking, and we were able to get on with everything. No big deal at all.
They're wrecking in the back there.
We're on lap 4 now. Still giving chase to everyone, but I'm back in 5th place because somebody spun out. I am pushing hard to catch the people in front of me, and it's still so early in this race that I'm not really fully confident on the tires yet, but I'm trying to push as much as I physically can so that I'll have the chance to catch the drivers ahead of me, because throughout the whole race I was catching up to everybody, and I truly believe that I would have been able to fight for about 3rd place had I been able to continue this race. Jump to lap 7 now. As you can see, I'm getting closer, and somebody went off there. I'm getting closer, and that's kind of what all I was worried about, is driving as clean as possible, but still getting closer and catching so I can fight for the podium spot. It's kind of important to me at this point that I just drive to get better and quicker and more comfortable, as well as for position. And as you'll see throughout the entire race, I just keep progressively getting faster and faster and faster, and inching towards the people that were ahead of me. Like, you see here, I'm back down to 6th place because I ended up letting somebody pass, but I'm pushing and giving real good chase to that group of cars ahead. And as you can see through the last 2 turns, I always keep getting good runs, and then not really knowing when to get back on the power and letting them slip away from me. So I guess that's more of race inexperience and nerves, where I was just too uncomfortable to push the car really. And now we're on lap 17. I'm starting to get really comfortable and really pushing, and I think the 13 car realized that. He just moved out of the way and said, you know what, buddy, you can have this position. No big deal. Just let me have it. He kind of slowed up on the straight. I dove the inside there, and that's all there really was in that move. He gets a really good run on me too into this straight, so I kind of have to work just to keep the position from him. And going into turn 1 and 2, basically all I did was dive the inside, and I got a 2-for-1 deal once the move was actually fully over. So We're on lap 21 now. I'm down in 7th place. We're just gonna pass by that 13 car. I let him in the 6 by. It was a big mistake on my part. I took one of the turns way too wide, and they just snuck up on the inside. No big deal though. I'm giving really good chase, catching back up, keeping pace with them, so I'm not really worried about it. As long as I stay in the draft, we'll be able to all catch the cars ahead of us and have a decent race. But I guess 13 had different ideas because he slammed into the wall and then down into
Come
me.
on, man.
No big deal. It's these things happen in the race.
You hit the wall.
No hard feelings about it. Here's the replay of what happened.
Yeah,
Like I
he
said,
hit
he
the
hit the
wall.
wall and then just came down on me. I figured he was going to, so you saw me eyeing him, but I couldn't react in time, and I should have just hugged the much lower line. So that's kind of inexperience telling me that. This is our first lap immediately out of the pits. We already eat up one guy. He just kind of lets us pass. Doesn't want anything to do with us really. I think he's the car directly behind me, and he's already lapped. So there's nothing that he can do. And coming up here on the next lap, I believe that we're gonna end up passing this Red Bull ahead of us. And this is when I started to realize throughout the rest of the race that I really deserve to be here, and I really should be giving chase to these guys, and I should have ended up with a better finish than I did. It's just really unfortunate that I got taken out the way that I did. Again, no hard feelings. It was a complete race incident. There was nothing that could really be done, and there's no point in getting really negative about it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's no point getting negative about it, and I just decided to move on. I keep giving chase to the cars that are ahead, and I mean, I'm really starting to eat up all of their time. I think it's just a complete difference in tires. All their tires are starting to really fall off, and I had to pit, unfortunately, so I have fresher tires. I guess that's the one benefit of getting taken out is I got better tires, so I could salvage some of the time I was behind, but I'd rather not be taken out. Here we're going to eat up this number 3 car, just cut to the inside here. Just completely outbreak him into this. I mean, he had no chance there. And do we get the 1-2? No, we don't get the 1 as well. We do get a good run on him, though, and with the tires, I'm pretty sure that he's fallen off at this point, so as long as I just keep making good turns, I should be able to get by him. I thought about keeping on the throttle and just really diving up the inside, but there's no point to race that dirty, and I could definitely get the move done just into a normal turn. As you can see here, I'm just not fully committing to it, but he ends up backing off and says, you know what, go ahead and go by. No big deal. He does get a better run on us, though, so he starts to catch up to me. But again, with the fresher tires, it's just easy to just send it into the corner when he can't, because I have grip and unfortunately he doesn't. It just sucks that also that I'm lapped, so none of these passes actually matter. We're down to lap 29 now. There's like over 11 to go. And we're eating up this 2 car on the outside. Just not quite able to get it done. And into this next turn again, my tires are just significantly better. So this is just going to be the story over and over again, folks. My tires are better. I'm able to pass them. There's nothing they could do. It's as simple as that. Lap 34 now. Probably the same story. I've been saying it all night. You know what's going to happen, folks. I got great tires. He doesn't have that great of tires. So we're just going to get a good run on him into the back. And once we're basically car length, I know it's done. There's so much time left. And I have more grip, better brake pressure right now. My car's not as hot as his. I do take the turn horribly, but he fell far enough back that it just doesn't even matter. There was nothing he could do. We're on to the last lap of the race now. I've caught up with the first place, sixth, and seventh place cars. The guy you see in the lead there of this group, he's in first. The other two are sixth and seventh. So it's pretty interesting how that ended up happening, but I don't know where second and third are. So first must have lapped these guys as well. Um, but as you can see, just set a clean lap to come in. Had I not gotten taken out, I felt like I could have made a really good run at third place, but I couldn't. That's all there is, folks.